My name is Jessica, and I am one of Carleton's International Admissions and Recruitment Officers. I'm also a very proud alumni of Carleton, having graduated with a degree in Public Affairs and Policy Management. Again, thank you for joining. This next session is going to cover topics around how to choose your program. So let's hop in. Some of you might have a very clear idea of what you want to study, and that's great. But I'm sure there's also a large number of you who might be feeling a little bit unsure or even overwhelmed with the amount of choice in front of you. But no matter what group you're in, I think that this presentation will be helpful. My goal is to introduce you to some terms that you will likely come across as you apply to universities and talk you through some options about how to choose a program, how to follow your passions. But most of all, I hope that I can make this process of choosing a program less overwhelming. All right, so let's hop in. But first, before we talk about programs, some of you might even still be in the process of deciding if Carleton is where you want to study. Do you even want to come to Canada? So let me just start by talking kind of high level about why we think a Carleton degree is worth it. So first, degrees at Carleton are internationally recognized, meaning if you earn a degree here, it will have value when applying to jobs outside of Canada. But being internationally recognized is also especially important when you're thinking about applying to graduate school or professional degrees outside of Canada. So if you're thinking about a master's program, law school outside of Canada, it's important that you have an internationally recognized degree. And to the next point, degrees at Carleton are customizable and flexible. I'm going to talk a lot more about this throughout my presentation, but essentially, there is often the option to combine areas of study or even to switch a program if you so choose. And last, I want to emphasize that at Carleton, we have a basic philosophy of how we approach teaching here at Carleton. Experiential learning is threaded throughout our program. It is a strategic priority that every single student have a meaningful experiential learning activity by the time they graduate. So that's kind of the high-level introduction to the value of a Carleton degree. But now let's transition to what we actually offer. Choosing what you study at university is definitely a big decision, but it's also an exciting one. So this slide is all about you, your interests, your skills, your goals, and how they all come together to help you pick the perfect program. So let's break it down. So discovering the right program starts with understanding yourself. Reflect on your interests, activities that excite you and make you lose track of time. Consider your skills, whether it's problem solving, working with your hands, or helping others. These can guide you towards suitable options. Think about what motivates you, such as a passion for helping people, creating, or solving big problems. This will help you uncover your why. Lastly, assess the realities like program requirements. Did you take the right math? Will you meet the English language proficiency? So how can you tackle these potential challenges before you apply to university? So here's the key takeaway from this slide. Where your interests, skills, and motivations and the realities overlap, that's your sweet spot. That's where you'll thrive. And with so many good programs here at Carleton, we're confident that you'll find a good fit. All right, now let's look at just how much Carleton has to offer when it comes to your academic journey. We organize all of our programs into 5 faculties, which kind of act like hubs for all the different areas of study. So together, these faculties offer 26 bachelor programs to choose from, over 150 majors so that you can specialize in what excites you the most, more than 50 minors, letting you explore other interests alongside your main program, and streams and electives that give you even more flexibility to shape your degree. So, whatever your passions or career goals, Carleton really does have an option for you. All right, on the next slide, we're going to dive into these 5 faculties so you can start to maybe envision where your interests might fit in. As one of Canada's top comprehensive universities, Carleton offers a wide range of program options for students to explore. All of these programs are organized into 5 faculties. So at Carleton, we have Arts and Social Sciences, Engineering and Design, Public Affairs, Science, and our Sprott School of Business. Each one of these will offer unique programs and opportunities. All right, within those 5 faculties, we have 26 degrees. A degree is like a second layer right under that faculty. So, for example, if you were in the Faculty of Science, your degree could be a Bachelor of Mathematics or a Bachelor of Computer Science. Your degree will determine those fancy letters that you can sign after your name because it's the type of degree that you will earn. So, for example, a BA would be a Bachelor of Arts, a BEng would be a Bachelor of Engineering, a BSc would be a Bachelor of Science, just as a few examples. Now, on the slide, you might see that a couple of the programs or the degrees, are highlighted in red. These are just new degrees that we are launching for September 2025 that we wanted to highlight for you here today because we're very excited about them and we hope you are too. All right, now looking at that list of degrees, you might be wondering, okay, but where's psychology? Where's chemistry? And that's a totally fair question because within the degree, you will find programs. And those are the specific fields of study you choose to focus on, like psychology or chemistry or one of the other 150 programs that we have. So to reiterate then, the degree provides the structure's foundation, while the programs will determine the specialization or specialized knowledge and skills that you'll develop. So just as an example, these are some of the programs we have in the engineering degree. You can see options ranging from aerospace to mechanical to environmental to software and so on. So all of the engineering students are completing the same degree, a BEng, meaning that they will have common classes that are foundational for all engineers. But as they move through the years, they will start to specialize based on their chosen discipline or program. And I want to add that a program is often referred to as a major. I'm going to kind of use those two words interchangeably. So you could say, I am a science student majoring in biology, as an example. Now, in some degrees, there is an option to declare a double major. So to review, a major or your program will be the largest grouping of classes you will take. So if we take history as an example, about 50% of your classes will be history-related courses. So to graduate, typically you have to take 40 classes, roughly. If the history program is only telling you 20 classes you must take, what do you do with the other 20? That is where you could declare your second major. This isn't an option in all programs, but it is in many, especially in the Faculty of Arts and Social Science and Science. Now, is there another layer, you might be wondering? While yes, there is. So many of our programs offer concentrations or streams. A concentration is an even deeper or further area of focus connected to your major. Okay, so if we stick to engineering as the example, and then let's look at aerospace engineering. Within aerospace engineering, you can concentrate even more by choosing one of these 4 areas. In your upper years, you will have smaller groupings of classes or courses that you'll take to develop or give you a deeper understanding within aerospace in your chosen concentration. Now, I've been using engineering as my example in the last number of slides, but there is a similar formula in other programs as well. Another way to supplement your major is to add a minor. A minor is a smaller area of study. I previously used the example of history when we were talking about majors and needing approximately 20 classes or 50% of your classes towards your major. If you did a minor in history, you would need to take 4 units, which is usually 8 classes. Okay. So if you are a person like me who has multiple interests and might be feeling restricted by having to choose just one program to study, minors are a great option. Because unlike a concentration, which is connected to your major, minors can be completely unrelated. You can declare your minor during the application process by getting in touch with us or your admissions officer, or you can declare it once you've started at Carleton. It's actually pretty common that you'll take interesting courses in your first year and be inspired and decide that you want to declare that as a minor. Now, in terms of how many you can take, that kind of depends on your degree. Degrees will have different requirements. So you have to work with the courses that aren't required for your major. And you can use those to fill up with a double major, a minor, 2 minors, or just take really interesting and exciting electives that interest you. All right. So it's really flexible, as you can see. To expand on minors briefly, many of our major programs are also offered as minors. So if you're interested in one of our majors, but maybe not quite enough to concentrate so much of your time on it, a minor might be a great option. But then we also have a variety of unique minors that are exclusively available as a minor option. And this is a really great way to add more niche areas of interest to your academic journey. Okay, we have covered a lot of terminology so far, from faculties to majors, concentrations, and minors. But now I want to take a moment to talk to our future professionals, the doctors, lawyers, dentists, physiotherapists, veterinarians, and so on. How do you choose your programs? It might be a little bit different, but in Canada, for all of the professions I mentioned and many others, including many related to the medical field, you are usually required to complete a bachelor's degree before your professional program, like law school, as the example. In nearly all cases, the specific degree that you study is not really that important. What's important is that you choose a program that you are passionate about, that you have interest in, and therefore will do well, because your GPA is going to be really important. So, for medical school, for example, it might make sense to study science or health science, but medical school actually doesn't really have a preference in Canada. In fact, you could be eligible for medical school with a geography degree. So you might, in that case, choose to do a science minor or take some science electives strategically, but it's not required in your program. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense and clears some questions up for you. Now, let's be honest, despite all of this deep reflection that you've been doing, maybe you're still feeling a little bit lost, and that is totally okay. This is where undeclared programs come in. Undeclared is an option that you have on the application, and this is for students who want to explore their options before deciding on a particular major. It is the perfect option for students who either are interested in multiple fields and are having a difficult time deciding on just one area of study, or for students that feel maybe they would benefit from experiencing some first year classes before deciding on a program. In that case, in your first year, you could take a variety of different courses across subject areas to see what really sparks your joy and declare that as your major moving forward. So it allows some experimenting. We have undeclared options both inside the Bachelor of Arts and Social Science and the Bachelor of Science. For many students, undeclared really is a great way to start their university career, while giving yourself room to explore the variety of programs and majors that Carleton offers, while continuing to discover your interests. So please don't shy away from undeclared if you feel that this speaks to you. Well, when researching your programs, it's also really important to understand what goes into earning and building your degree. Of course, it can be assumed that you'll have lectures and tutorials and labs. But remember at the beginning when I mentioned our philosophy of experiential learning, learning by doing? In your research, you'll see programs highlight how they embrace this philosophy. So many programs at Carleton will offer co op, which you'll learn more about in an upcoming session, international exchange, internships, practicums, field schools, support and volunteering in the community. These are all the elements that make up a unique program. So at Carleton, our programs really are about more than just writing essays, studying for exams, showing up for class. It is a dynamic, vibrant, holistic experience that builds your unique program. So, all this to say, when you are researching, I encourage you to spend that extra time to look at these opportunities. And I think it'll help you kind of differentiate one program from the other or one institution from the other. All right, so we're winding down. I know this has been a lot to digest, but I hope that I've been able to help you understand a little bit more about the ins and outs of choosing a program. If you want a little more help uncovering the possibilities, if you just scan or take a pic of this QR code, it'll lead you to a fun, non-scientific quiz that's meant just to help you get thinking about what programs are available based on your interests. You might even discover a program that you haven't even heard of yet. So I encourage you to play around with that. I'll leave that there just for 1 second to make sure that you can scan it. Okay. So, in wrapping up, I want to thank you again so much for joining this session. I hope you're feeling a little more informed and confident moving forward in your application. If you have any outstanding questions, please feel free to email us or book a virtual meeting with one of the international recruiters that you'll meet here today.